Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
Hey, the guy you see there, if you're watching Facebook or YouTube, he's cooler than Dan and I put together.
Yes, yes,
And
he is.
Melvin Negron, CEO of Gangsters Gone Godly. Melvin, it's been a while.
Yeah, it definitely has a couple, at least almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
He's
We met you through our friend Frankie Holbrook, and we were just talking about Frankie and just the impact that she's had on so many people. So we'll have to get a little more into that story of how she touched your life in just a little bit.
Amen.
Yeah, I don't know that we heard a lot from you because since it's been so long and I'm 60, I can't remember all the details, but I do know that Melvin spent 2/3 of his life in prison. He was raised on the streets. He was in a number of gangs, and then he was in a prison, and his life, it was in New Jersey, right? Was that where the change happened?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, it happened in Trenton State Prison, maximum security in solitary confinement.
Wow. Wow. Tell us the story again, real quick.
So, I went to prison. I had just actually came back. I was starting my fifth prison bid, and when I came in, they sentenced me to 5 years. But when I got to reception from the county jail to the prison, they brought me to Trenton State Prison because I had owed them some hold time, some segregation time from my bid before that.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was sitting in there doing that time, I'm a former Latin King, 28 years as a Latin King member. And 21 of those years, I was the leader of the Latin Kings.
Hmm.
So I had walked away from the Latin Kings a couple years before that, and one of the kings that were inside the prison came to me that day, and he was like, "Look, tomorrow there's going to be a riot. When you go out to the yard, you're going to be by yourself because you're in segregation. So the only people you get to associate with are the ones in segregation." And he was he tried to hand me a shank with a knife and everything, and he was like, "Look, you need to do what you got to do to protect yourself." And I told him, I said, "Listen, I'm done. I got 5 years. This is the shortest bid I've ever had in my life. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired." So he kept on trying to convince me I didn't take it. At 11 o'clock that night, I'm sitting on the edge of my bunk. And while sitting on my bunk, I don't know, just something came over me. And I dropped to my knees for the first time. And I said, "God, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what it is you want from me. I don't know what the plan is. If I'm supposed to die tomorrow in that yard, then so be it. My life is in your hands. If it's meant for me to, be here the rest of my life, if I end up taking someone else's life, then it's still in your hands. At the end of the day, I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting you. I'm tired of going against everything that I know you're trying to do for me." And mind you, I didn't know God. I mean, I knew of him. I came from a Catholic background. I went to CCD classes. I went to Catholic school as a little kid, but I didn't really know him. I didn't have a relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the corner of my eye, I seen a Bible that the prison chaplain had given to me like maybe 2 days before that. And I was so disrespectful that I tossed it underneath my bunk and never looked at it again. But I grabbed it, and as soon as I grabbed it, I went to sleep. I literally put it on my chest and fell asleep, So
Wow. That's
it was
amazing.
it was a start.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit about Gangsters Gone Godly. Obviously, because of the transformation, you felt called to do something and give back, lead so many guys that have been caught up in gangs. It's interesting, Melvin, because I remember years ago when we heard a lot about gangs. Gangs, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And seems like maybe it's just me. You rarely hear about gangs anymore. I'm assuming they're still around. Are they mainly in the prisons? Where are they?
Okay, so they're definitely still around. In fact, it's become a fad, you could say. Music, music industry, movies, it became popular to become a Blood or a Crip. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, the other gangs, that aren't so. I guess you could say they're not a part of the fad, or like MS-13s, Latin
Right.
Kings, Nietas, things like that. They're still around. You know, it's a shame. Like I said, I was a Latin King for 28 years of my life. I started the Latin Kings. I joined them when I was 14 years old. They're the second largest gang in the world.
Hmm.
You're not even talking a nation, and maybe not the most violent, but they're the most strategic because they try, and I can speak on it. Like I just didn't walk away. I took what was called walking the Golden Gate. So basically, I have permission to walk away with the 5 broken ribs, a collapsed lung. you
Oh
know,
gosh. Wow.
yeah. But they went. They tend, like, in certain areas of the world, you know, they try to enforce Christianity, like in Ecuador. The Latin Kings down there, are men of God. They, are trying to do things for the community, but they're still a gang. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, they rule by an iron fist, basically. Like, um, here in the United States, I mean, they're there. They're just more low key. They're mainly in the prison. There's definitely a lot on the streets. Thousands of them still on the streets. They just don't. They're not as well organized
Mhm.
anymore. But yeah. So like I said, I came in at 14, and at 18, I got crowned as a full-fledged king under King Blaze out of the Bronx, New York. He actually is. He was second, may he rest in peace now. He was second in command to the New York chapter of the Latin Kings, well, the East Coast chapter of the Latin Kings. He seen something in me that at an early age that he felt like I would be able to go ahead and be a leader. So he basically, I don't know, molded me into what he wanted to do. You know, um, but uh, long story short, became a first crown within a couple more years after that, which basically I led the Latin Kings in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and in Connecticut. So those were chapters that I ran. And we're talking tens of thousands of soldiers that were at my beck and call, you know. So it's not like I came from, just kid that wanted to be. I literally tried to be street mafia godfather. You know,
Mhm.
that was my life. That was what I wanted. And the fact that I had so many people at an early age in my life listening to me, basically doing whatever I said to do, that just got to my head.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Now, I walked away in 2008. My baby brother, his name was Kevin. He had passed away from the disease of addiction.
Hmm.
And when he passed away, he left 4 kids behind. Now, I had already been feeling some type of conviction. I had already been feeling, something wasn't right. I was getting to that point. This was in 2008. And I just didn't know how to walk away. Like, this is all I ever knew. I mean, everything I knew. So, um, I didn't push right away to walk away. But in 2008, I wrote a couple letters to, other Latin Kings that were higher than me, and asked permission. Basically, look, I've gave my life to the nation. I've given, everything, blood, sweat, and tears, literally. Um, Tired. I just want to walk away. I want to try and do the right thing. Keyword there, try. Didn't work out so well. Um, they said, okay, you can walk away, but of course you're gonna have to walk the Golden Gate. In order to walk away, you're gonna have to suffer, some type of consequence. Whatever. As long as I walk away, I'm willing to walk away free. And I figured it was my punishment for everything that I did in my life to other people.
Hmm.
So I went ahead and it was called a 360. Basically, it's three guys that surround you, only take body shots, and for 90 seconds they're just, punching on your body. And you can't you fall, you start the clock all over. So like I said, I walked away with 5 broken ribs, a collapsed lung, um, completely torn up. And then they had, the nerve to sit there and say to me, we love you, we respect you, we'll always honor you, we'll always be there for you, you know?
Wow.
So yeah. So it was crazy.
It's quite a story. Wow. Melvin Negron, CEO of Gangsters Gone Godly. Real quick, Melvin, we got to take a break here in a second. Tell us what you're doing. You got Bless the Block coming up and some other events. So you are getting out and doing these things out in public then?
Yeah, actually, Bless the Block was the very first event I ever did. I was a part of, and that's how Frankie and everything became part of my, I guess you could say, my extended team. No, I have an event called Celebration of Life. I started it a couple years back when my second little brother died to the streets, and now we have it. We're going around the country. We just recently did the 3rd annual here in New Jersey, and it was such a success that people started reaching out to me through social media. Everybody's on social media, and they seen video clips and things like that. People have been just reaching out and asking me to come. So I collaborated with some people and we decided to take it on the road. So for the next few months, we'll be hitting cities around the country.
Awesome.
You coming to Atlanta or?
Yeah, definitely. Frankie, I reached out to her immediately. As soon as this, thought came to my head, Celebration of Life, like I said, it's for anybody that lost somebody to the streets through addiction or gang violence or anything like that. Frankie was at the event last year. She played a part in it last year, but this year, because of her accident, she wasn't able to attend it. I said, well, she's part of my life. She, helped me get to where I'm at today. So definitely I want to come to Atlanta and be able to do something there with her as well. So we're setting it up, more for, I want to say February, March date, but that's more heading out there.
Well, let's do this closer to that date. Let's get together. Maybe we'll bring Frankie on with you and we'll talk about the event coming up and how people can be a part of it. Gangsters Ungodly, be praying for these guys. They're shaking the streets, touching people's lives for Christ, and we appreciate it. Do you have a website up there that, Dan, do you have a website there?
I don't. Melvin, is there one website, or how can folks find out more about you guys?
Yeah, well, you could actually go for the tour itself. It's celebrationoflifetour.gmail.com. They can reach out to us. Here on my Facebook page, on One Accord Ministries Facebook page. They're a partner of mine, as well as Milk and Honey Family. They're also a partner of mine. And a lady from A Touch from God, Risa Mercedes, out of Bronx, New York. So either one of their pages on Facebook or on Instagram. Plus, I also have my website, which is Gangsters Gone Godly at wixsite.com.
Okay.
Awesome.
Definitely connect me on there as well.
Melvin, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And again, let's get together at the first of the year, 2021. Can you believe I'm saying that?
I know. It's crazy.
But, we're just believing that 2021 is going to be huge for Gangsters Gone Godly because you guys are doing great stuff.
Great work. Yeah.
Thanks to you. Hey, we'll be back. We got to take a break. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.